What a world, Dreadnought on the mic, you know what it is, that Tower Fantasy goodness, and I'm sure everyone has been enjoying this game, because in this video I'm going to be doing my account summary of how my account has been developing over the past few weeks, as well as my experiences with Frigg and how I'm liking her in my ice comp, as well as showing off what my actual first 6-star unit is in the game. So if this is a video for you, then stick around and enjoy. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, then make sure you subscribe and turn the notification bell, because I do videos on the reg, you better believe it. So my account, how has it been developing? How has it been going? So originally when I first started out, my account was so heavily towards ice at the jump. It was just unbelievable. At times it was a little bit of a struggle kind of doing content that resisted ice, because I just didn't have anything else. But one thing I did know is that I was going to essentially tailor my account towards an ice team, just because I like their overall playstyle. So Meryl was one of the first units that I did get, well, units, weapons, however you want to call it, I did get on my account, and I absolutely just fell in love with the playstyle. Just really heavy swinging, great shadow potential, really decent DPS output as well. A little bit slower than King. Well, I'll say a little bit, a fair bit slower than King. But she really made up for that DPS output and just not being, staggered. That's massive in this game. She could just get that Beyblade, always spinning and always doing that nice sweet damage. So I did manage to get her up to Ascended 1, A1 we'll call it. People say Constellation, I'll just go call it A1. Which is not bad. It does kind of give that ability to essentially heal when she does shatter a unit, which works really well with Frigg and what she's doing in terms of obviously increasing that shatter percentage by 25% when she's in Thimble Winter. It really works well, so there's great synergy right there, and that gave me more reason to pull for Frigg, because Frigg was just going to kind of be the absolute glue for my actual account as a whole. So then I went into Tsubasa. That sounded a bit wrong, but Tsubasa has been an absolute staple on my account and actually became one of my main DPSs, because we did have that choice where we did have an SSR selector, which I was really on the fence of who to kind of go for. There were so many YouTube videos with like, pick Samir, she's the best DPS, and then I was like, go with Tsubasa, she's a great long-term investment, and rightfully so she is. The thing that I do like about Tsubasa is the fact that actual Ascensions provided with some decent attack up. So in terms of the growth, she gets like 50% growth and just so mobile and can just go in with a sweet dodge, just fire 3 arrows, really gets her uptime in terms of a buff that she's able to provide your whole team is beautiful, and really helps in supporting Frigg and her DPS output. When once again, another reason why I wanted to main ice, because I just had the tools and had the actual account kind of built leading towards that. So originally on the plan, it was essentially get Tsubasa up to level, well, to Ascension 6, just because that last, like, buff is just so huge, able to stack up Sharp Arrow 5 times, and then able to then essentially increase that buff, which is just going to be sweet. The buff is beautiful right there, which is just fantastic. And then obviously at level 5, she just grant that double duration on the arrow rain, which, just keeping that uptime in terms of the DPS. But what I'm finding is that there's a lot of bosses that just keep freaking moving around. It's actually really annoying. So yeah, she does obviously struggle with that, but the actual investment of this unit is just worthwhile. So I'm still intending to kind of get a 6-star, but it seemed like some other unit just kind of crept in, and it's got to be, if I can get it going on, it's Coco Ritter. She slid in like Randy Orton. I tell you, just yesterday, I literally got back-to-back 3 Coco Ritters from the Gold Nucleus banner. I kid you not, I've been shafted so hard on that banner, most of my SRs have been at the pity. So this actual cycle that I was on, whilst I was just exploring the world of Tower Fantasy, just get those achievements and Golden Nucleus and all that good stuff, I was doing some cheeky pulls, and I managed to essentially get her maxed out in, like, yesterday. She was literally on C2, and now she's on C2. Ascension, now she's on Ascension 6, which is just amazing. The reason why I kind of went all the way with Coco Ritter is because healing is actually pretty important in some of the game modes, and unless you've got Nemesis, which obviously was a limited time unit, sometimes healing can be freaking hard because you just got to keep them within the actual healing range and the circles, and everyone's moving about here left, right, and center. The thing that I like about Coco Ritter is, one, she's got amazing control. Two, her burst healing is amazing. Like, the actual burst is brilliant, and when you get to like fully maxed, the actual B is really helping out. Just gives you that nice 15% attack, well, damage and healing boost, which is just good for her. As well as, obviously, we do have Frigg accompanied with her actual Frost Resonance. Her actual attack power's not actually too bad, which is going to be good. Just to kind of swap in and out, get my recharge going, get into my skills and my rotations. It's all that good stuff. So I feel like Coco Ritter is going to be really helpful for my account and how I'm developing into the ice direction, just in the longevity of things, because there's no one else that really does what she does apart from Pepper's really good, but Pepper's healing is quite stationary, which is obviously an issue when people are moving left, right, and center. Coco Ritter is just very mobile and good that I can just pop her discharge and then just swap into another weapon, and I'm still actively healing with the B still doing what the B's doing, and depending on obviously how your teammates are doing, it can really just help them out as well, which is just good. So there was the result of the polls, guys. People said, "Oh, you got Frigg to A6, you got Tsubasa to A6." No, it was actually Coco Ritter, which absolutely just stole it all right there. So then let's get on over to the woman, the new unit, which everyone has pulled for, and you know, I've had the rough experience or the really lucky experience of getting multiple copies of her. So Frigg right here, obviously I was waiting so hard for this unit. When she got announced, I wasn't expecting her to be announced this soon. A lot of people will say it was going to be Cobalt B, and then moving on to obviously the, I can't remember, Claudia. And Frigg was going to be really later on down the line. So I was like, okay, I've got enough time to be saving. It's all good. I didn't pull on the Nemesis banner at all. Like, Vault team's just not really my thing. There was not really any Vault unit that I kind of reside with, if that makes sense. If I'm playing a game, I really want to kind of somewhat connect to units and really enjoy their playstyle. Didn't really like Samir's playstyle. It just feels like she's just shooting away and just spinning all this. And in the end, I'm just like, I ain't got time for that. And this is where I led into Tsubasa as my main DPS to be just kind of like, she's just so nimble, got the sweet dodges. I'm so much a dodge kind of character. I'm always dodging. So Frigg's playstyle in terms of where she's in Thimble Winter and I've got the unlimited dodges works so well just for my playstyle. And that's why I really like her. Obviously, there's a bit of a discussion at the moment in terms of her actual DPS output. And for me, when I was pulling for her, the thing that, like, she is amazing just the base version. Even when you get to get to A1, you know, she really is nice. I mean, in terms of just having, obviously, the Frost Resonance is fantastic. And then, obviously, when you do kind of boost it onto get the A1, it really just, you know, having that frosty stack is just really good. Anything to provoke deep damage is just always a win. But for me personally, I really wanted to get her to A4. The reason why is actually due to the actual attack growth. Like, if I'm going to be planning to use her as my main DPS unit, I want to make sure that I have at least the attack, the ascension that's going to grant me an overall boost on the weapon, because that's going to play massive in terms of what her other damage output's going to be. So I was really dead set and like, right, I want to get her to A4 at least. Obviously my previous videos, which I'll put the thumbnail in at the end of the video. It was a smooth experience in terms of getting her. I managed to save up a lot of resource, not pulling on the Nemesis banner, which really helped out. You know, obviously, boy had to swipe, which, you know, for me, it's like, right, this is my main character. This is the character. I'm not really so fussed about anyone else. Obviously, if I do get them, sweet. If I don't, I don't. But this one I really did want to get, and I really wanted to pursue. So getting it to at least 4 would have been sweet. There's still time on the banner. I'm still going to try and chase, maybe go for that sweet 5-star. I think the 5-star would be really powerful when you are swapping into your Meryl, just because Meryl with her main skill, just that nice ice dome, just go for that mass shadow, which then is going to freeze a target for 2 seconds, is an absolute game changer right there. And just once again, additional DPS output when obviously Thimble Winner goes off. So it's just really, really strong. I feel like if I can push it, if I can get it, and the A5 would be splendor. A6, I'd have to be incredibly lucky. I'd have to be so lucky on that. And yeah, you know, so there's only so far you can push your luck. And I feel like I pushed my luck on the gold nucleus banner for Coco Ritter, to be honest. But then in terms of like essentially the other weapons, so in terms of other weapons, the only weapon that I don't own is actually Nemesis. It's crazy how the account has gone from barely having like any other element. Like I didn't have King, I didn't have Crow, I didn't have Huma. It's crazy how pulling for Frigg has actually really bolstered my overall roster in terms of weaponry. So just kind of give me a bit of options in terms of what I, you know, if I'm going into certain dungeons, I can kind of at least going with a, you know, preferred weapon that's actually going to be beneficial for the team. Because the issue of obviously leaning into one element type is when it comes to a day where it resists, that's why I'm like, shit, I'm going to be that guy who's going to be coming in to resist damage, and people are going to be like, boy, this guy don't read. This guy don't read. Like, I do read, I just don't have the weaponry to actually do something decent in terms of damage output or the actual resource to level them up. So at the moment, Black Nucleus Banners has come super clutch. Managed to get the Huma weapon, and I managed to get the Zero weapon there as well, which came really nice. So it means that I've kind of got options to kind of go with a full fire mono team. Shiro and Crow managed to get those through the 50-50 when chasing Frigg, and actually did get the 2 SRs, which was quite nice. It was like banging. So overall, in terms of weaponry, can't really complain anymore. It's like, if you asked me a week ago, I was getting shafted constantly on the gold banner, but it's came through clutch. It's really helped out the progression, which is exactly what I want. So, Matrices. This is where it gets a little bit shit. And I'm not going to lie, my Matrices are all over the place. They are a little bit like, what is happening here? So, in terms of, I wonder if I can actually just get this in. Can I get it in all level? What's that? Okay, cool. That'll work. So, in terms of Matrices, have I been looking some? Yes. But searching for the Matrices is quite difficult in this game. And in terms of the banner, it's not been amazing. Unfortunately, I didn't get anything from the Frigg one. But I did manage to get the Huma Matrices, which actually is really good for Frigg. Like, is super strong for Frigg, because, I mean, he talks with dodge skills, which she pretty much does all the time, is going to inflict that bleed. So my plan of how to get the other set is going to be when we do get a free temple, I think, in probably tomorrow. And then that should kind of literally get me just on the threshold. If not, I'd have to do another multi, or depending on how, if I go further into the Frigg HC banner, I could literally go and basically wait for that banner to end, then it'll just convert. But I think Huma's definitely going to be the main piece in terms of what I want to be doing, in terms of the Frigg damage output, because I know there's a lot of issues in terms of her damage output. In all honesty, she just needs a lot of commitment, like a lot of resource to get the best out of her damage output. She's decent off the jump in terms of when you do get her, you know, she does all right damage, not like top tier, but she's balanced, and I think that's a really important thing for the game, is that she's balanced. But then when you develop her, and get the right matrices and all that good stuff, I think that's when she becomes really strong. So yeah, definitely work on getting a Huma set right here, especially for that 2, which is going to work really well. And then I did get super clutch in terms of getting the Coco Ritter set literally today, where I was farming. I think I was trying to farm just a joint operation. Just a tip: definitely if you've got like 30 vitality, you want to just do like a joint operation just because you're bored. I definitely would save it towards the last chest. That's definitely like, that's where this popped out, which was pretty good. So I might keep testing that, because this is going to help massively for my healing. Just, additional 10%, which is banging. Obviously, if I can get more, then even better. I can increase that by 16%, which is just huge. And then if I wanted to go for the 4-piece, that's quite a massive thing as well. Increase attack if you're being healed, is amazing. For 6 seconds, which will just do nicely. The extra additional attack buff is always good. So after that, it kind of goes a bit downhill from there. Nothing really spicy. I've got a lot of purple sets which work well. I just need to kind of farm up the resource to start building them, which is the thing. And it takes time. It just takes time, and I'm just enjoying the game. Still learning the matrices set, still working out what's optimal and what's not optimal on characters. But overall, I do like this, but I like how you can actually farm them. Like it'd be absolutely shit if you couldn't farm these, because these do make or break a character. Oh, no, not necessarily make or break, but it really adds a lot of spice to their kit. So yeah, this is how my matrix is going, and these are a lot of work, pretty neglected, but I feel like I'm at a nice position where I can kind of focus on that particular area. Sometimes you got to take things one step at a time. So in terms of Frigg, like is she good? Is she worth summoning for? I think she's a very, very powerful unit, if not just for her skills, but for her actual trait. Her trait is stupid. Is actually pretty freaking busted in terms of what she can do. Because this just absolutely just breaks her. Like, absolutely. The fact that I'm getting a boosted frost attack, which is sweet, stacks up to 10 times, so 24%. Beautiful, last 5 seconds. And then she gains hyper body, which is just so good while she's in frost domain. That's 25 seconds of freaking immunity from getting knocked all over the place. Huge. She can't be controlled either, so it's just like, this is worth like just for that. Granted, it really is tailored to Frigg, or if you've got Frigg in the comp, because you have to be in the frost domain. So you can't just slap that onto King and just you'll have hyper body. No, you have to be in frost domain. So as long as you've got King and Frigg working together, that's gonna work perfectly. And I feel like just for this alone is huge. It's absolutely huge. Frigg is she's a really versatile unit in so many different ways. Just like her trait, her crowd control, AoE damage is just massive. Invisibility frames, which is just huge. The fact that you can just literally thimble Winter out of incoming big damage is perfect. Granted, you have to be in the right area to really get the maximum worth, but say for when you're versing Apo and he comes in with the freaking big spirit bomb, you could literally thimble Winter your way out of that because you've got invisibility frames. So she's just a really versatile unit. I feel like she requires a lot of development. So straight off the jump, if you really want to kind of maximize out on her potential, and if you want to be running her as a main DPS unit, then it's gonna take a lot of investment, which is fine. I mean, the game's not going anywhere unless it's shut down tomorrow. The game's not going anywhere, so you've got that time to just like enjoy her, figure out a playstyle, and just build her up to how you want to build her up. The struggle that I'm having at the moment is effectively what kind of team composition I want with the ice. Because I feel like ideally, if I went like with this, that'd be sick. I'm getting nice buffs from Tsubasa. I'm obviously getting that nice damage output, and I've got Shadow, but I've got no heals. And sometimes, I'm going to be honest, sometimes I don't like depending on the healers who haven't got a freaking clue what they're doing, or I'm just moving about too quickly that I can't get into their healing zone. It's really quite hard to do maximum DPS output, moving about, dodging, while still getting your ass healed. It's really quite hard for a DPS unit if you are quite close quarters, especially for Frigg. She's going to be just kind of dodging about. Technically, you shouldn't really be taking any hits, but it does still happen. And you're going to be maybe just dodging out of the healing circle by accident, and then you might receive heavy damage. There is obviously that possibility, but you know, you just got to kind of just get better, get good, all that good stuff. So I enjoy Frigg. She's definitely my DPS. No regrets in pulling for her whatsoever. I feel like A4 is probably, if you're going to main DPS her, A4 just to get that maximum worth on the damage output. Really, like anything that's going to be boosting the damage output is going to be sick. Unfortunately with Frigg, her actual 2 ascend Ascension 2 only grants a HP base, which is just like, you know, I suppose that's pretty much standard for these kind of DPS-ish units. Compared to Tsubasa, you know, Tsubasa's getting a flat 50% increase, which is at A4, which is just nuts, and that's why she does really good, quite DPS output. And I feel like if she did have the attack up, that would probably make her a bit busted, to be fair. But I feel like, yeah, if you want to main her, definitely A4 would be quite comfortable. I think you've pretty much got all the maximum benefit right there. But like I say, when she drops into the actual normal banner, where you can just use your I don't even know what you call them, gold tokens, black fire tokens, I don't know the correct term, but once you use those, you can obviously just get another copy of it, which is just going to be good for you. And I think that's obviously going to happen to me, is just going to get that other copy from there. So overall, I think Frigg's solid. Really happy with her damage output. Her damage output is sweet, and I'll do a video in terms of just her, like, essentially just a showcase of how I use her in battle, and just, you know, how to incorporate her in. And hopefully when I do get the Huma Matrices, then we can just obviously see that nice damage output right there, because I do have to absolutely grind the Bygone. Is it Bygone? Let me just check the actual professional term, the actual term. Yeah, Bygone. Yeah. I got it right. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I need to grind out this. So I will do maybe a few stages of just me going through this, chirping through with my girl Frigg. Because like I say, I'm still pretty low. I'm just literally on 100, which I'm actually 23. I'm fine, rank 23, clapping. When this launched, I was top. I got photos and everything. But guys, that is your boy done. Hope this video was helpful, insightful. Let me know how your account is developing. What element are you maining? Put it in the comments. Let's have a good discussion. Let's talk about it. But guys, stay safe, stay fly, and I'll catch you in the next one. That's your boy Dreadnought, off the mic.